Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Ann Emanuel. The Starbucks on College Avenue in Ithaca is closing at the end of the week. Our Maggie Hall reports that employees say this is in retaliation after their attempts to unionize.
Workers at this Starbucks in Ithaca joined the labor union in early April. As one barista put it, the Collegetown Starbucks is 2 inches from the bustling Cornell University. But now, a sign out front shows that the coffee shop will close its doors for good this Friday, June 10th. The place has already begun packing up as most of its chairs and tables are surrendered to boxes of flavoring and coffee grounds instead of students hard at work. The Collegetown location is one of 3 in Ithaca that unionized earlier this year, and its sudden closure has left its workers reeling and searching for answers. Barista Kyle Lapisa suspected all along that the store may be closing.
Then we go to the meeting, and they're like, store's closed permanently, next week, goodbye. It was a 15-minute meeting. There was no conversation. We were told that the store was gone, and that was that.
Pisa told me that with 3 days until the store's closing, workers still don't know what's going to happen to them. They are still waiting on a full explanation.
And, obviously, yeah, it's their discretion to close the store, but you have to check with the unions, which they didn't do, and that's a pretty big issue. I'm not a lawyer, but I've been told by lawyers that's illegal.
When we asked Starbucks why this coffee shop was closing, we received the following statement. We open and close stores as a regular part of our operation. With deep care and urgency, we continuously work to create the kind of store environment that partners and customers expect of Starbucks. Big Fox News will continue to follow this story and will keep you updated on the closing of the Collegetown Starbucks. This is Maggie Hall with WYDC, Big Fox News, Elmira Corning.
Police in New York City are looking for a person involved in a shootout that happened in the middle of the day. Police released video that shows the man they are looking for. That shootout happened in the borough of Queens in the Long Island City neighborhood. One man arrived at the scene in a black sedan. They say he exited the car and exchanged shots with another man. The second person was shot in the shoulder, went to the hospital, and was arrested there. He's charged with attempted murder. Days after a shooting in Philadelphia left 3 people dead and 11 others hurt, dozens gather in Pennsylvania's capital for a rally against violent crime. Nearly 100 people coming together in Harrisburg. The group mostly made up of survivors and families of crime victims. Many attendees called on lawmakers to do more to stop violence across the state. Others asked for more services to help victims.
Listen to victims. Listen to those that have seen, those that have heard, those that have experienced. They will tell us our path forward.
The rally was hosted by Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice. Organizers also set up a vigil to honor all those lost to gun violence. Gas prices continue to hit records across the country. I filled up my car today, and it wasn't fun. And energy experts say we may not see relief anytime soon. Jeff Flock has more.
$90, and we only did 3/4 of the tank.
Another day, another all-time high in gasoline prices. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of gasoline now stands at a record $4.95, just pennies shy of that $5 mark. More than a dozen states have already topped that $5 threshold, including here in Pennsylvania. In California, people are handing over more than $6 a gallon, followed by Nevada at $5.56. Many drivers choosing to leave gas stations without a full tank.
I fill up about maybe $30, $35, and then I try to wait till I make some money, and then I fill up again.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine, as well as a growing demand for travel, have contributed to the recent surge in oil and gasoline costs. Prices could climb even further. Goldman Sachs predicting that oil could surge to $140 a barrel over the summer.
The probability we get there between now and Labor Day is 23%. So there's a very real possibility we'll see oil upwards of $150 a barrel. That does translate to a national average gasoline price of $6 a gallon.
And the high fuel costs come as Americans are facing rising food and housing prices too.
We were in a different place a year ago, and now we are in a much better place economically, but there's still work to do, and we understand that.
I'm here at a refinery being torn down in Philadelphia. Over the course of the past 2 years, we've lost more than 1 million barrels a day of refining capacity in the U.S. Just another factor helping to drive gas prices even higher. In Philadelphia, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
And these record high gas prices have more criminals targeting gas stations for fuel. Kim Passoff is in Las Vegas, where police are giving us an inside look at how thieves are using a modified truck to steal thousands of dollars worth of gas.
Unfortunately, with the rise in fuel prices, we have an increase in fuel theft.
These trucks are designed not to siphon your car's gas tank. They are going after much bigger fish, gas stations.
Some stations have been hit for thousands of gallons, and they'll continue to go back until the tank is drained. That's thousands of dollars in losses for these gas stations, and sometimes it almost gets to the point where it puts them out of business.
In a secret location in southwest Las Vegas, Metro showed Fox 5 modified trucks taken from gas thieves in the last few months.
These thieves are very sophisticated. They'll take a truck that looks like just a normal truck or like a freeway service truck, and there's intricate piping inside them.
This undercover officer from Metro's financial crimes section, whose face we cannot show, explained how this one works, with 3 fuel tanks hidden behind a toolbox.
Each one of these fuel tanks can store up to 350 or more gallons of fuel of liquid. This guy worked on days or weeks to design something like this.
The makeshift gas tanker, towing a horse trailer also filled with tanks of stolen fuel, was stopped by Metro in Jean on the way to California, where the gas can be sold for more than in Nevada. This modified truck even has its own fuel nozzle. When the criminals go to sell what they've stolen, there's even a meter to show what they should charge their customer.
These trucks are involved in a crime where they manipulate the internal workings of the gas pumps.
Investigators say the thieves are brazen. They steal gas in plain sight in front of people filling up at the pump who have no idea that a crime is being committed right next to them.
The owners don't even know for up to weeks or months when they do gas audits. They'll open up the gas pump itself, and there's a series of gears inside there, and they're smart enough to figure out how to manipulate the gears.
A big clue something's up if a truck is at the gas pump for hours, which is often how long it takes to steal thousands of gallons.
If somebody pays with a $20 gift card and they're out there for an hour and a half pumping gas, that should be suspicious. If something looks funny, or if you see anybody open the side of a gas pump, let the clerk know, let the authorities know.
Your complete forecast is next, plus this.
Remote work is coming under fire. I'm Kevin Cork with a look at the negative effects, as specialists say, can come with not being in the office. Plus, the officials telling employees it's time to get back to the way things were before the pandemic. That and much more coming right up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, we turn back to those bright skies. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and hopefully you're able to get out and enjoy that blue sky, because again, it was short-lived, as we will be detailing rainfall on its way for us. We'll look at the potential for precipitation as we head through the overnight. It does increase just before that morning commute, so note that you'll want the umbrella, but also note you may want some extra time on that commute, as we'll see times of heavier rainfall could lead to some ponding on the roadways, one, making for some slower travel, but two, also want to remind you that the temperatures are going to fall into those 50s. We'll have some foggy conditions with rain, fog, and those cooler temperatures. Make sure that you are prepared with your umbrella and your warmer layers, but also make sure that you're keeping those headlights on for your commute. The fog, as well as those cloudy conditions and the rainfall, makes it more difficult to see, so having those headlights on makes sure that other cars can see you and you can see the other cars as well. High beams actually make it more difficult, so there's a fact there as well. Now, the rainfall will gradually end as we step into the afternoon. May still stay foggy and cloudy though, won't see the sunshine return until we head into your Friday. So this back and forth of rain to sunshine is really a good mix. Now it is going to be a little cool again, but overall the sunshine yet again is short-lived. We'll see it at times through the weekend as our shower chances are going to become a bit more isolated. The one good news that's going to come into the weekend as well is that we are going to see some warmer temperatures. So rolling through forecast here, this is starting at about 1 a.m. You'll see that the low pressure system is really going to track right across New York and Pennsylvania, allowing for those showers to spread their way in. So you saw those high reflectivities right over Elmira, so that could mean some ponding on those roadways. Might have to mention an isolated shower or thunderstorm into the afternoon and evening, but then as we head into Friday, it does look like some sunshine is going to be on the way for the area. So staying active all day. The highest threat is going to be that morning commute, so keep yourself attentive to those roadways, to other drivers around you. Rainfall accumulation, especially if that rainfall does dump over our area up to about an inch. It is a fast moving system, so if it moves off pretty quickly, we could lessen that to about a half an inch, but those reflectivities, those yellows and reds you were seeing were pretty high, so at least a half an inch, upwards of an inch is going to be our range for just that system. It's also going to be breezy as that low pressure really moves right through the Elmira area and Corning, so note that wind gusts will be up to about 25 miles per hour, making it feel even cooler. As we woke up into the 50s, we're only going to climb into those mid 60s, so not a big rebound really due to staying under that low pressure system and that rainy, foggy weather. Now, as you get to the sunshine on Friday, your temperatures are back up into the 70s like we saw today. But as mentioned, there is going to be some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances throughout the weekend. Temperatures holding to those lower 70s average for this time of the year. If we stay cloudier, might have to dial those temperatures back a bit. We'll keep an isolated chance into early parts of the week, but we continue to see those temperatures climb at or above average into early parts of next week, as we should start to see a drying pattern into that Wednesday forecast with a high of 78.
More than 2 years into the pandemic, and remote work is still prevalent across many industries. And while remote and hybrid opportunities are known to help save some companies' operating costs and afford many employees a better work-life balance, consumer science specialists warn that being removed from the office may not be everything it's cracked up to be. Kevin Cork has more on what you can do to help stay in the loop, plus a look at some officials now telling workers to get back to the office.
Across the country, hybrid and remote work opportunities are still keeping office spaces empty or only partially filled.
4 days at home, 1 day in the office.
It's 3 and 2 right now.
And while many employees are enjoying the freedom and flexibility from not having to commute, consumer science specialists say perks aren't without their setbacks.
The idea of human interaction, even in a digital world, cannot be underestimated.
Because humans are social creatures, researchers say we tend to form stronger bonds with those we see on a daily basis. Adding, remote work can marginalize employees already feeling disconnected from their company.
If you are doing great work product, but you're not having the face-to-face interaction with your supervisor, with your peers, that can further erode trust.
These are just a few of the concerns leading Tesla's Elon Musk to recently email employees telling them remote work is no longer acceptable. New York City Mayor Eric Adams echoing similar calls for all city workers.
JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, I'm telling all of them, listen, I need your people back into office so we can build the ecosystem. How does that look? That city employees are home while I'm telling everyone else it's time to get back to work.
Meanwhile, if you're still working from home, specialists say it's critical to pay close attention to the tone of your electronic communications. Practice patience and make an effort to increase some forms of face-to-face contact.
As our world advances and companies modernize, the need for tech workers has grown tremendously, and the pandemic put that need on hyperdrive. A prison in Missouri is looking to fill the gap by training inmates in computer programming so they can enter the tech workforce after their release. Madison Scarpino has the story from Pacific, Missouri.
Prison educational programs can drastically help break the cycle of people returning to prison after they're released. And the tech nonprofit who provides this training wants to give inmates a productive skill so that they have a better chance to succeed.
We need tech workers so badly for the United States to grow, for our economy to grow, for our companies to grow.
The Technology Councils of North America, or TECNA, says nearly every company needs tech workers now, and the pandemic only raised demand.
Everybody retired to their home, and the way they communicated with the world was through technology. And so The technology workforce has just been amplified.
Techna says the Commerce Department projects more than 1 million new tech jobs by 2025. Tech nonprofit Launch Code is training people to fill that gap at an unusual place, the Missouri Eastern Correctional Center. There, inmates can learn full-stack web development and coding through the Just Tech program, with the idea they can build skills to work in the tech industry after their release.
It's incredibly inspiring to see a group of individuals that, kind of against all odds and without the internet, has taken on the challenge of learning to code and succeeded.
David Teal has been in custody for 6 years.
This is probably the best thing that this camp has to offer, by far. So I figured I would go ahead and take advantage of that.
His father and sister were in computer programming, and he says technology has always interested him.
The opportunities are endless. The tech industry is huge, so I can pretty much do whatever I want as long as someone will, put me on board.
Teal graduated the program and is continuing to learn more as he prepares for his release in a year.
This opens a whole another door of something I thought I'd never be able to do. If it, I probably wouldn't even done it on the streets, but just the fact that I did it in prison, it's amazing.
47 people have graduated from the program so far, and Launch Code actually expanded the program to a second prison here in Missouri, and they hope to expand it to a women's institution by next year.
Today marks World Ocean Day, and as people across the country study how they can reduce their impacts on the seas, international scientists are using underwater microphones to track the health of corals and save vulnerable reef systems. Marianne Rafferty has a special look.
If you've ever put a shell to your ear to hear the ocean, scientists off the coast of Indonesia are going one step further, listening to coral reefs using underwater microphones to track their health in a process known as passive acoustic monitoring.
It's the idea of kind of having this ear in the ocean.
Researchers take audio gathered from the corals and listen for clicking type noises, a positive sign of a thriving reef that's supporting marine life.
On this healthy reef, we've got these sounds that come up every now and then. That's croaking from a fish we often hear on these healthy sites, whereas on the degraded reef, this is missing.
But sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between strong and depleted coral. So scientists are feeding hundreds of reef recordings through an artificial intelligence program, training it to quickly recognize subtle differences humans can't detect. The AI program is then able to track the health of the reef based on changes in audio activity over time. Analysts say there's not a moment to waste as climate change increases the temperature and acidity of the world's oceans, causing corals to die. And while coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, they serve as critical habitats and feeding grounds for more than a quarter of the world's sea creatures. Researchers are aiming to broaden their study and hope to soon use their technology to monitor reefs along the U.S., Mexico, and Australia.
Walmart has pulled an imported coconut milk following animal cruelty allegations. Walmart has removed Chaka coconut milk from its shelves after People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, investigated and accused the company of using chained monkeys as forced labor to gather coconuts. A 2020 audit by a Thailand-based firm says the coconut company does not use monkeys in picking coconuts, but PETA says that claim is inaccurate. Kroger's, Costco, Target, Wegmans, Walgreens, and Stop & Shop have also stopped selling the product. A Jif peanut butter recall list continues to expand to more products using Jif as an ingredient. Taharka Brothers Peanut Butter Cup Ice Cream, ready-to-eat chicken salad at an Amazon retail location, and peanut butter products in various places like Disney World have all been recalled for possible salmonella contamination. At least 16 companies have recalled Jif-infused products over the last 2 weeks. 16 people from 12 states have been infected, with 2 hospitalized. You can go to the FDA.gov website for more recall information. Let's leave you with a smile. Wendy's getting ready for summer with an exciting twist to an iconic treat. The burger chain announced it's adding the Strawberry Frosty to its menu for a limited time. Wendy's says this is a long-time request from fans. This summer, people will be able to have their traditional Frosty in the strawberry flavor for the first time ever. Another addition to their menu is the Summer Strawberry Chicken Salad, which will also be available throughout the summer. That does it for us. I'm Jamie Holmes. Thanks so much for watching.